And here we have the full fortress in its glory. Too bad it's still foggy here, but you can tell how grand it is. What is happening, everyone? Good morning once again from Syria, this time from beautiful foggy green hills of Syria, not the Tuscany references that we have made yesterday. Right now barely clearing up a little bit so we can see the beautiful rolling hills, but yeah, we'll see. By the time we get there, we're gonna go and have some breakfast, and then we're gonna head up towards the castle. You cannot see it. I'll pinpoint it a little bit. You'll see the shape, you'll see the silhouette, but yeah, completely different look than what you have seen in the previous episode. If you have seen the previous episode, if this is the first episode from Syria or the first episode ever on the channel that you are witnessing, head over to the previous one, head over to the other episodes from other destinations around the world. Right now I am in Syria, near the town Al-Wadi, by the famous Krak the Chevaliers, the famous crusader fortress from the 11th century, but it's completely covered in fog. Of course, fog can give some mysticism to everything. It can make things a little intriguing as well, but at least some visibility. You have seen it last night, man, it was outstanding. But yeah, let's head over down, have some breakfast, and then head over to Krak the Chevaliers. Today's plan, kind of the 30,000 feet level view, Krak the Chevaliers. Then we'll go to Hama afterwards to witness the water mills, the water wheels, and then we're gonna head over tonight towards the second largest city of Syria, Aleppo. A lot of things to see there, a lot of things to do, but we're gonna visit it most likely in the next episode. I'll show some highlights here and there from Aleppo, but most of the highlights from the city of Aleppo is going to be in the next episode, so stay tuned for that as well. How does a typical Syrian breakfast look like here at the hotel we're staying at? Well, quite filling, but the main event is still covered in fog. Krak the Chevaliers, hopefully in an hour, by the time we get up there, things will clear up slowly. So before going to Krak the Chevaliers, stopping at a local church here that dates back to the 5th century. One of them, there are actually 3 churches in this complex. One that's downstairs, which is actually closed right now, from the 5th century, one from the 11th century, and the modern one from the 17th century. Yeah, it is Easter. Orthodox Easter, that is, even though this episode most likely will come way after Easter. But yeah, starting the day off the Orthodox way. So before going up to Krak the Chevaliers, we had to make an important stop. Had to get gasoline. Yeah, so although Syria has a lot of oil reserves up in the north, well, those lands right now are controlled by the Kurdish Syrians. So yeah, a little bit more difficult to refine the petrol, the oil. So a lot of people import oil from, smuggle pretty much oil from Lebanon, and they add a whole bunch of other chemicals and a lot of times water, from what we were told, and it makes it quite bad. So you have to find the right people in order to provide you the decent gasoline. Currently at the base of the city surrounding Krak the Chevaliers, and we stopped for a quick glance of the fortress with the city in the foreground. Superb. Still a little bit hazy, but not as hazy as when we left. Again, this city affected quite a bit by the attacks back in the day. Things are quiet right now. It is Easter Sunday, like I mentioned in the previous clips. Very few people out on the streets. Again, most of the people living here in Al Wadi are Christians. So yeah, last night everyone was out at midnight to take the light, to gather the light. Finally, officially made it to Krak to Chevaliers. Here you cannot tell, it's foggy, but if you look down towards the village, you cannot see anything. Incredible. Yeah, last night, superb visibility. Now you cannot tell there is a city here, a big city, and also a whole bunch of rolling green hills. But yeah, let's go and explore the castle. Again, this castle dates back to the 11th century, 12th century, but there was another castle here before the Crusaders came. And afterwards, after they took over the lands, they built this humongous fortress up the hills here in Al Wadi, also known as Al Hussein Castle, I believe. And the pathway leading towards the interior of the castle looks quite nice with the light penetrating on the left side.
Okay, so we are now at the external wall, and as you can see that we have those steps by the way to that.
So the original design, there is a castle here and it's surrounded by some pretty large walls that kind of make it look like a castle within a castle. But the entry paths leading all the way to the top, they're quite extraordinary. There are quite a few people doing rework right now, cleaning the weeds from the castle. But yeah, outstanding, no doubt. I mean, almost 1,000 years old, and it looks extraordinary. Yeah, it was affected a little bit by the recent events. You know, one of the towers actually fell completely. But besides that, superb. And here we have the views towards the main castle itself with the humongous towers and the water surrounding it. So yeah, a castle within a castle on top of the hill. Going up one of the towers here to take a glance of the full surrounding. This was actually rebuilt recently. As you can tell, concrete, new concrete all throughout. Still foggy. And a lot of turtles and a lot of frogs. What we have right here is the former foundation of a windmill. They used to have a windmill at Krak to Chevaliers in order, you know, to use for the wheat, to press wine, and a whole bunch of other things, right? But the views, man, too bad it's so foggy. Currently at the center of the castle, and although this looks like a cathedral, we were told this was not used as a cathedral. The one on the right side, which does not have any cathedral design, architecture, was used as a cathedral, later on transformed into a mosque and so on. But the crusaders, the crusader officers, in quotations, they used this as a, I don't know, a dining room where they ate and so on. But yeah, given the way everything looks, you would have said this was the cathedral. I mean, look at all the Gothic designs here. Incredible. So you can pretty much walk a full 360, except that part right there. Yeah, the roads leading up are quite beautiful as well. Still not the greatest visibility, but at least nearby we can see the rolling hills. Yeah, most likely we're gonna go right there and take a whole view of the castle. So talking about Tuscany yesterday, here's a quick view of something that resembles that. A little village on top of the hills, winding roads, yeah, superb. And of course, a lot of barrels holding water. And right here we have one of the stables of the castle. Yeah, they say around 4,000 horses or so were gathered here. So this is where the rope for the horses was. You can actually see it's quite smooth, so yeah, interesting. So that was it from Krak to Chevaliers. We're gonna go at a panorama point and witness the whole castle and its glory around the rolling hills of Al Wadi. And here we have the full fortress in its glory. Too bad it's still foggy here, but you can tell how grand it is. There's that bridge right there overlooking the whole city of Al Wadi. Oh, there are actually multiple cities here, but Al Wadi is the one that we stayed at and the one that we had the panorama from. It should be right there. But yeah, outstanding.